You are probably saying, AT2, this was 12 years ago. Why are you talking about this? Well, Wayne Brady recently did an interview yesterday where he brings up, like, hey, I try to warn you mofos about Bill Maher. I try to tell you about how racist, how problematic he is. And you know what? He was right. Let's go ahead and get into the clip that got everybody talking. Here we go.
Shout out to the big homie A2 for that B-roll, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we have more and more of power broker white America fracturing not only other minorities, but really trying to just poop all over African Americans. We've got my man Bakari Sellers, who will be in the next volume of Black Male to Follow mixtape after I make the one for the women, shutting down Kevin fake ass wonderful O'Leary, who he's another one of these rich people who's not even from America that came here, assimilate the white power, got some power, and now don't care about nobody else. We got that. We will discuss Wayne Brady and why Bill Maher should have never been allowed to come to the cookout, but he went somewhere and got some super head. And once that head got taken away, his ass ain't know how to act. All that and so much more. We start right now.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that pull. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
That's right. Y'all back. You're in the building with the all knowing, all loving, all feeling, all seeing, all powerful. Hold on, I got to add some more to it. All woke, all inclusive. Damn all everything, sexy as hell host, me, Lamont Tyson. Welcome to the politics of being black. How do we do things here? Well, number one, the main premise of this show is to explain to you what life has been like dealing with politics as a minority, a black minority, and to debunk societal myths that were put in place by rich, powerful white people who did not want things to be equitable from the beginning, but they lie, they obfuscate, and they put things in place to keep the masses at bay and fighting at each other. And so we go through different examples of how that has come to light under the Trump administration. I take all super chats at the very end. If you got a question, a comment that's burning you, and you want to get it on air live, super chat me, and we'll get into it. Let's go ahead and start number one. Chud the Builder. Bruh, I don't know why he called himself that. He should have called himself Brokeback Mountain. Have y'all ever seen this MFer? Anyway, there is a scholar named Tim Wise. Please go give him a follow on IG. This man puts out great work, ladies and gentlemen. But Chud, Brokeback Mountain, got arrested. And I would contend to you, if you don't know what Chud does, ladies and gentlemen, he goes to places with his little camera crew, wearing his cowboy hat, with his ravishing Rick Rude mustache, and he antagonizes black people. He's always careful where he does that at. And that's the mantra of those type of white dudes. They only go places and cause a ruckus when they know they have an advantage. Either they've got a gun, you don't. Either it's 6 of them and 1 black dude. Because heaven forbid it be 1.5 black dude, they need 10 white guys. He would go to these kind of places, and you know where he would never take his ass at? The hood of New York, the hood of LA, the Crips and the Bloods. You never caught him there. Well, he got arrested. Take a listen to what my man Tim Wise had to say about Chud Brokeback Mountain.
So I know I'm a bit late to the party when it comes to this asshole, you know, this Chud the Builder guy, the village people looking motherfucker that's been walking around Nashville, my hometown, trying to provoke black people into attacking him by saying the N-word. I guess he's trying to prove something about black people being the stereotype that he believes, right? That they're always looking to fight, that they just can't control their emotions. So he calls him the N-word, hopes that they're going to attack him, and then he can, I guess, unalive them by pulling out the weapon that he carries with him at all times. And then he figures that when he does that, and he is let off the hook by claiming a stand your ground defense, then black folks will riot and it'll provoke some kind of race war. That's pretty much what he's saying here in this tweet or this social media post, right? Couple things worth noting. Number one, he has been completely ineffective. Black folks actually haven't taken the bait, right? They've ignored him for the most part. Nobody seems to give a shit. Black folks just sort of laugh at him. They clown him. They videotape him. He just keeps saying the N-word over and over, and black folks just don't give a shit. So he's disproving the very stereotype that he's trying to prove, right? He keeps running around saying, stop chimping out, stop chimping out. And the only one chimping out is him. Black folks are just goofing on his ass, right? The second point is that if you actually put out a social media post saying that you're trying to provoke someone to starting violence so that you can unalive them, if that actually were to happen, Chud, you would not be let off the hook on a stand your ground charge. You would be prosecuted and convicted for first-degree murder because you would have admitted your intention to provoke the conflict and cause the problem, and that would torpedo any claim of stand your ground that you might have. And finally, the police of Nashville should have arrested his ass. Should have arrested him. He keeps saying that it's a First Amendment free speech thing, but there's a very long-standing precedent that if you are inciting imminent lawless action, you don't have a free speech defense. You could be arrested. Now, I know there's a lot of different precedent and different interpretations, but he admits in his social media feeds and his live feeds that he is trying to incite violence. And the Supreme Court has acknowledged, going back to the 40s, that if you are deliberately trying to incite violence with your speech, it is not protected. So let's get with it, Nashville. Arrest this asshole if he tries this again. And any other police department where he tries this should do the same.
Well, he got arrested, ladies and gentlemen, but that arrest is not going to stick anywhere. A couple of points I want to pick at with Tim. Well, number one, Tim, as I said before we got into the video, he never takes his ass to the places where they will whip his ass whether he's got a gun or not. You've never seen him go to the hood in New York. You've never seen him go to Yonkers. You've never seen him go to Rutgers Park. You've never seen him go to South LA. You've never seen his ass in the hood leaving Tennessee, because he knows in Tennessee that those Anglo-Saxons in control there that just stripped the one black district they have for Justin Pearson, he knows that they will have his back. The same way Florida had Trayvon Martin's shooters back, places like that. He's not going to go anywhere where there's a legitimate threat to his life. That's called picking winners, picking losers. That's what that's called. And it's also called something that, am I in this video long enough where I can use choice language? It's called being a pussy. He should shave off that mustache, trying to look like Ravishing Rick Rude from the 80s, because he's nothing like that. Homeboy is ready whip in aisle number 7 of Piggly Wiggly, the grocery store. He would not take that little act outside of Tennessee and go to somewhere where they have tighter gun rules and go somewhere where the hood folks don't care about your little YouTube and all that. So my thoughts on him, jail is not going to stick. It is going to take him getting that ass whipped before he realized folks ain't nothing to be played with. And I know right now a lot of white dudes in his ilk feel emboldened because of Trump, but I'm here to tell you, too much pressure get thrown on, they will throw your ass off the boat. Let me know if you guys think Chud the Builder will spend any significant time in jail. Hell, I don't. Not at all. I'm laughing, folks, because it's hard for me to believe this next story. By the way, please subscribe. I'm not active really on any of my other social media. You can go there, but I'm real active on posting comments in YouTube. And I do have a Shop Life Gain store where if you want to get one of those t-shirts I've been posting, they chose hate over food on their plate. You can go there and check that out. To us Democrats, we knew Trump was a grifter. He's never been a good businessman. I always tell people there has never been a better time in American history to be a grifter, a con person on social media, the type of people that'll tell you, come to my meeting, I'm gonna teach you how to buy real estate, when really they want you to come to the meeting and give them money to teach you an education that you really can get from a lawyer without having to give them 50 G's of your money. You get it, con man America? Well, folks, there is backlash to Trump because guess what? Folks never got their Trump phone. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not laughing at these people's pain. I'm not. I'm not laughing at the pain. I'm laughing at their lack of intelligence and critical thinking. Like, you didn't think this through. So I guess you thought he could just con all the black and brown people. You know, he got his Mexicans there. He don't pay them for the contract work they do. Then he go eat their tacos and shit. But he was going to give y'all Cracker Barrel, West Virginia mountain hanging with 2 teeth a phone. Take a look at this, folks.
Hey, Trump supporter here. This goes out to Don Jr. and Eric. Where the is my phones? I ordered 4 gold Trump phones in the summer. Now we can't get any updates on them.
He's not alone. A bunch of customers and MAGA fans are very angry to find that Donald Trump is breaking his word again. That Trump's family business has duped whatever fans it has left. This latest grift involves the Trump family's business failure to deliver promised Trump phones after getting down payments on them from a lot of customers. Now, how many people would actually like to buy a Trump gold phone at this juncture, say in the last year? Well, considering the past ripoffs and the fact that no major cell phones are actually produced in the U.S., so this seemed like a long shot, well, you might think not that many. But the answer is, well over 500,000 people each paid a $100 deposit to get in on the planned and promised Trump phone. Not a single confirmed customer, though, has gotten one. This is a report from the IBT. Meanwhile, the website for the so-called Trump Mobile, which isn't very mobile, includes a disclaimer. A pre-order doesn't guarantee a device will be produced or made available for purchase. I mean, that is just out there. A pre-order means not a pre-order. We just hold your $100 and we might never make the phone. The so-called Trump phone was announced with a lot of fanfare by Trump's sons last year.
Today, we're here to introduce Trump Mobile, making phones in America. It's about time we bring products back to our great country.
We're going to be having call centers for Trump Mobile in St. Louis, so we're keeping our data onshore.
We plan to build phones in America. All of our customer support is in America. A lot of people are getting ripped off, to say the least, because they don't pay attention to our cell phone plans. So I think we can do it better.
People are getting ripped off. They're going to do a better job. They're actually doing no job because they haven't shipped any phones. The company's selling point was that this somewhat gilded device would be made in America. You heard that in some of those clips. Now they say it will be proudly American. I guess that's kind of how the phone identifies. It will be designed with American values in mind. Sure. Whatever. But that's not how country of origin labeling works. If you're going to make something here or have it abroad, the mother of all tariffs president ought to know that. The phone reportedly now predominantly made in China. But again, that's if it's made. So far, the company now says, don't assume if you buy one or part of one that it'll ever be produced. So we don't know if it's ever going to be made or where.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry for laughing because I want to feel pain for MAGA. But did MAGA feel pain for me? Is MAGA actively feeling pain for me with what's going on with voting rights right now? Even though Trump conned 500,000 people, said the phones were going to be made in America, we knew they weren't because it costs too much to make shit in America. And then he said the phone is going to identify as American. I thought these was the same people that didn't like it when a male wants to identify as a woman and vice versa. But it's okay if that phone can identify with America, even though it's made in China. Folks, you can't make this up. Politics is not supposed to be a reality show. And at the end of the day, the very government that is licensed to help you with life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, safety, security, and all those things, the head of that organization and its children should not be conning anybody out of anything. But this is a microcosm of what Black people are trying to tell those dumbass white folks that voted for Trump 3 times. If he would take the rights away from minorities for power, why do you think he's going to do right by you? He says things to have you do right by him to get the vote. And once he's got that, he don't need y'all no more. He's not only racist, he's definitely not no damn Christian, because all you MAGA folks that bought that phone, if you really believed in your Bible and Jesus Christ the way you say you do, you would know that you shouldn't have Jesus Christ and Trump in the same sentence. The only thing Jesus Christ and Trump have in common is that they both spent a whole lot of time with prostitutes and got ghostwriters. That's it. That's all they have in common. But some of y'all ordain him as the coming of Jesus, or Jesus bestowing his essence upon a man, and he would do no wrong. Where's that Jesus Trump phone, ladies and gentlemen? And the other thing we laugh at, everybody who knows Trump and knows his business history, critical thinks, reads, researches, know that the phone won't going to be real gold. If you hold that phone in your hand too long, your hand will turn candy apple green. Ladies, that's the kind of gold that's going to be on that fucking phone. Okay. Like, I would stop laughing at these people, but anybody here thinks that it's going to make them go out and vote Democrat? Or at the very least not vote for Trump and Republicans? I don't. I think some have peeled off, but if you was one of those 500,000 that bought that phone, you have Stockholm syndrome. You bought the phone, you got Stockholm. You bought the phone, you got Stockholm. See, I have to say things like that because that's the only way MAGA folks in that ilk can take information. You bought the phone, you have Stockholm. Maybe I'll put that on a t-shirt too, because that should be another indicator to you that you voted for the wrong person. You need to give your vote to the people that's going to hold people like him accountable for doing you wrong. Post your comments. Let me know what you think, folks. If they bought the phone, they got Stockholm. Moving right along. Let's get to the next issue. I got 3 stories left. Let's get to the red hats. And this is not funny. It's sad. It makes me hurt. You know, Trump released several of those January 6 rioters. And several of those January 6 rioters have gone back to jail for doing things with underage people. One of the biggest issues I have with the way white America has positioned society is that white rich guys can do no wrong, that we should be humble, we need to know how to speak properly, we need to show contrition, all that gobbledygook that they don't follow. And that if I am a Christian, that makes me even more humble and acceptable. But what they're really telling you is, I want you to lower your guard as a person who believes in the Christian faith so that I can turn your head and do whatever the hell I want to do to your back. Well, this story comes to us from someone who was a MAGA Christian rocker who just got in trouble with children. Can't make this stuff up. Take a look.
160 criminal counts involving children. I want you to meet Philip Wayne Vaught, who is a self-described quote-unquote Christian MAGA musician who is now facing one of the largest, most disturbing indictments I have seen in a while. So from this point forward, trigger warning. This is all in Sumner County, Tennessee, and those 160 charges are all tied to alleged child abuse and exploitation. Now, I'm going to read these charges. These are the actual charges, and they are a bit graphic, so I'll try my best to make them social media safe. He's got 5 counts tied to abuse of a child, which includes aggravated word that rhymes with grape, and soliciting exploitation. There are 10 separate counts accusing him of the word that sounds like grape of a child. Another 15 counts say that he unlawfully penetrated a teen between 13 and 18 while he was in a position of trust and at least 4 years older. Then it moves into the exploitation in images. Prosecutors hit him with 76 counts saying that he used a minor in the production of S material, basically using kids to create CSAM. On top of that, 51 counts say that he was caught with material showing minors in S activity, and 3 more counts accuse him of having more than 100 separate images or files back in 2017. The alleged abuse stretches from 2015 all the way up to January of this year. After what authorities describe as a lengthy investigation, Vaught was arrested and is being held on a $1.5 million bond. And all of this reads, y'all, like prosecutors are dealing with a serial predator, because I think we are, and they have charged him like one. Now, on the court side, here's what's happening now. Today, May 12th, he was in front of a judge for his arraignment. That's where he's formally told that he's charged with and enters a plea. But here's another key date. In July, he'll be back in court for what's listed as a settlement hearing, and that word can be misleading. In a criminal case like this, settlement doesn't mean that the victims are getting paid off or the charges are disappearing. But what it is essentially a plea discussion setting. The judge and prosecution and defense come back to court and see whether there's going to be a plea deal on any of these counts or whether this is headed straight to trial. Basically, it's a pressure point. Admit guilt to something or gear up for a jury to hear everything. Advocates who work with child abuse survivors say the long timeline here is sadly familiar. Kids don't always feel safe or believed. They carry shame, fear, confusion that can delay reports for years or until someone around them finally connects the dots and speaks up. Now, because this case is happening in my own backyard, as it moves forward, I'll be watching that July settlement date very closely to see if the state is pushing for a plea or preparing for a full trial. Either way, 160 counts tells you everything that you need to know about how serious this is and why protecting kids has to stay at the center of this story. As always, drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you haven't already, you don't think plea deals should be for cases like this, go to my profile, sign the petition to end easy plea deals for those who harm kids. If there was ever a case to show why we need that, this is it.
Go show that creator some love, ladies and gentlemen. I will post his link in the video description. Here are my thoughts on this. This is what those type of white dudes do. The MAGA rich sit at the top, do whatever I can to have the path of least resistance from people. I don't want people to be able to critically think for themselves. I want to put things in place to lower their guard so that I can weasel my way right on in there like the Pied Piper to kids. This is why I say Democrats have got to play the long game of putting critical thinking, higher education in schools as soon as possible, so that when kids feel that gut feeling something's not right, they have the confidence to go run and tell someone. How many people you think he got over on that was kids because they thought he was like this man of Christ? He really, truly was a Christian MAGA Pied Piper. He was a musician. And I bet his music wasn't even all that damn good, because if it was really good, he probably would have been doing that stuff to adult women. But adult women can filter bad music out quick as fuck. Young kids, they hear a recorder that you get for $5 and think you're doing something beautiful. And the power dynamic that he mentioned. People, wake up. Or maybe some of y'all want to stay slept. When we said woke means you're educated, means you critically think, y'all told us that was a pejorative. How long are we going to let these type of people get away with this stuff? He shouldn't, if he's found guilty on all this stuff, hell, if he's found guilty on one of them, he should never see the light of day. Because I still ain't got over how is it that there are still men in jail who had a dime bag of weed serving 10 to 15 years. I'll never get over that. When I see this type of behavior going on every day in MAGA Christian white man world. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen in other races. So don't be sitting up here, oh, he hates white people. No, the fuck I don't. I always say we need white people who are woke. We need white people who believe in equity. The gains black people have made would not have come if it wasn't for white people sacrificing themselves to help uplift the plight we was going through. So I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about this punk we just saw that's supposed to be a Christian MAGA musical Pied Piper trying to get little children. He made videos with children. That makes me want to know, who were the parents of these kids? Was these relatives of him? Because you know they love cousin effing. Was these people at the church? There's so many questions. And if he's found guilty on one count, we don't never need to see his face. He can go play music in jail for Bubba all he wants to. And we'll keep it at that. Post your comments. Let me know what you think about that. We're down to the last two subjects, ladies and gentlemen. And both of these involve white men that we can't bring to the cookout. And one of them we should have never let come to the cookout. So let's go to the one that we should have never let come to the cookout. Bill Maher. I'm not going to lie. When there wasn't many progressive voices out there, I used to listen to Bill Maher. I thought he was smart. I thought that he wasn't racist. I thought that he had the backs of black people. Hell, if y'all remember, he even dated Superhead, Corinne Steffens. And if y'all don't know her background, I'm not going to tell you because she's moved on in her life. She's doing different things. But fellas, let me just say this. If she put her lips below your waist, you wouldn't last them but maybe 30 seconds. Okay? And so I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, there's no way he's racist. But that is when I was young. That was when I was young and didn't understand life and didn't have the critical thinking skills I needed to have to survive. Because let me tell y'all something. Pretty much every slave owner was racist, but some of them was out there blowing the backs out of their slaves. So just because you hang out, you have sex, you mingle with people of other races, does not mean you're not racist. Remember, you think you're superior. So in essence, you feel like you're entitled to the panty draws. And if they don't want to give you the panty draws, by any means necessary. Well, two fantastic comedians have come out and start telling the truth about Bill Maher. Number one is D.L. Hughley. Y'all know that D.L. Hughley is one of my favorite social justice comedians. He's represented on this channel almost weekly. But listen to who else found out about Bill Maher. Someone that the Black community at one point in time wanted to call a porch Negro, Wayne Brady. I always knew Wayne Brady wasn't the porch guy. Just because he carried himself clean cut, he had a diverse viewpoint, he listened to other music. Some of y'all painted this man as some kind of Carlton from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air voting Republican. He's never been like that. Some of y'all didn't think he was funny because his comedy kind of leaned a little more toward Anglos, but that was his experience. It didn't mean that this man wasn't versed in the issues Black people deal with. So I'm going to play a clip of him on the show. Shout out to AT2. This is where I got the B-roll from. Go check out his YouTube channel. But this is what Wayne Brady had to say about Bill lost his way when he lost to Superhead Maher.
Bill Maher, who hasn't aged well in terms of his ability to pay attention.
You told people. You tried to tell us, Wayne Brady.
And it took Dave Chappelle
recently saying something, but I told people the day that I said to Bill Maher after he and once again, using that joke of saying, well, I wish that Wayne Brady was that President Obama was less Wayne Brady and more, I forget which gangster rap or whatnot. And even that, how dare you as a white man try to define this thing?
It's called racist. He's racist.
He is racist. And I don't care. Bill Maher can say, oh, I have all these Black friends. Look, I don't know Bill like that. Back in the day when I first got on, I used to do his the political show.
Real time.
No, the political show on ABC.
Politically correct.
Politically correct. I did it a few times. I grew up watching Bill Maher, thought he was funny.
Right.
But when people tell you who they are,
that part.
And that just doesn't go for dating ladies. This goes for
don't date Bill Maher. I don't have experience, but
I'm saying to Black women,
don't do it.
Just
Black
because,
women, stop.
And I remember there was a party way back in the day that I went to at the Playboy Mansion. I was invited to, and there was Bill Maher with two sisters on his arm, right? And I looked at her, and I was like, and I don't even know. I'm never going to be one to yuck your yum, but yuck.
There's no yum there.
No, there's no yum there. And I saw it for what it was. I was like, this is a cat who believes that his proximity and things you can use, that gives you the right to say what you want to say.
Yep.
Well, folks, sadly, any person that has money, especially men, you're going to get a pick of the litter of women all the time, because one thing that stops social justice is money. That's one thing, probably the biggest thing. And some people will, and I'm not saying that, well, I was going to say I'm not saying they're wrong, because everybody needs to be able to survive. But a lot of women will put aside a lot of issues to get with a man with money. And because of that, I guess they allowed Bill Maher in those relationships to run around like he was a Black dude without checking them, because he had the money, he had the clout, he had the power. Well, when you're dealing with the public, bruh, when people have allowed you to come to the cookout, bruh, You have to conduct yourself in a better manner. And he has really showed his ass through this Trump presidency with his love of Israel. This is a man and a comedian I respected. I thought was just like, he's the type of white dude that can garner other white people to help with our causes. Superhead took that loving away. He went straight to Israel way. You don't believe me and Wayne Brady, who was looking dapper near in that video? Take a look at my boy D.L. Hughley, who drops it all. No holding back.
So this is Bill Maher on his Friday's episode of his show.
If there was a slow-moving coup, let me just describe some of the steps, and you tell me if I'm being paranoid. First, create a masked police force. Get people used to looking at that. Normalize snatching people off the street. Get them used to that. Normalize seeing the National Guard and the military on the street. Then start talking about crime in the capital, which is basically, has always been a fairly crime-ridden city. This is our nation's capital where elections are decided. And then because the crime is so bad, have other states start sending their troops. Not just the National Guard there in D.C., but now at least 6 other states are sending their troops, which then Trump can then federalize. So you're having many states' troops on the ground there, and now they're under federal control. So you have in the capital a sort of permanent police presence. So when an election dispute might come up, just hypothetically, I don't want to be a big pessimist, and I'm going to pretend for the rest of the duration that the Democrats do have a chance of winning, and they might win the next election. I just don't think they're ever going to take power, because this is what's going to happen. Because I think this coup is going to go off a lot smoother than the last one.
What I find very interesting is the same things that he is saying that Trump was slow rolling. He was starting those things when Bill Maher went to dinner with him. He was snatching people off the streets. He was in anticipation of his big bill being passed. He was spiriting people away. He was saying all the things he would do. So when did he stop being good dinner company and a potential authoritarian or a tyrant? See, that's what happens. So in April, he was a gracious host. He was playing crazy. It was a productive meeting. All of a sudden, 4 months later, we're here. And it's because of people like you, people like Bill Maher, people like, the people who perform for him, the people who normalize him. We told you this would happen. And what you did is say, well, we got to reach across the aisle and we made some political headway. What he was doing, what he's doing all the time, except you helped. People like you helped all along the way. Oh, I respect the office. He doesn't. Oh, I'm just performing. I'm just picking up money. He didn't care about that. He used you for optics. And so a part of this shit sandwich, you guys get a bite of. And all of those people who said, oh, your vote doesn't matter. Now the potential of your vote being taken away, you helped. All of those people who thought it would be the same in Gaza, you helped. All of those people thought that he wouldn't really do what he said he was going to do, you helped. And now the best you can do is silence. So now you sit here and you're telling us the urgency about what he's going to do. There are armed Southern troops in northern cities and more to come. Armed Southern troops in northern cities under the pretext of violence. And some of those Southern troops had to leave very violent cities in their own states to get to where they're going. But at least you had a good dinner, right? At least he was a gracious host. At least he was playing crazy. With friends like you, who needs an administration?
This is what I think about that, ladies and gentlemen. It has always boggled my mind. Here's another one of those societal put in place by white people in power tropes that we need to get along with other politicians for the sake of the country. Where has that led us, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to tell you where that has led us. I've never believed that shit. Like, they say it. I've always believed that that was a way to keep people at bay from actually overthrowing the government and cleaning the house, draining the swamp the way we need to. That societal trope they put in place is the very reason why we've never handled our business after Reconstruction, after the Civil War. We wanted to turn a blind eye to what the South was doing to the remaining Black people down there and act like nothing was going on. And then when politicians came to represent Black people and say we need to give them equal rights and stuff like that, and other white dudes who felt like, no, we need to go back to slavery, they would tell them to calm down, be easy, get along to be along. Fuck that. How is it that we're supposed to get along with someone who's literally taking our rights away, killing us with ICE, making our lives so hard that we have to choose between food and medicine at the expense of white MAGA that likes to pick hate over food on their damn plate? I've never understood that. If I'm a lawmaker and I'm a Democrat and I'm voting for the rights of middle class and poor who are struggling while the rich have gotten 5 times richer than the middle class and poor, I can't go hang out with you. Our values are so different. We're not friends. And I'm not going to sit here and play this game, because that's what makes people feel like politicians are the damn same. Bill Maher hanging with Trump, other politicians getting along with each other, but on the Capitol floor, they hate each other. I mean, what is this soap opera? This is Young and the Restless. What are we doing here? That has never been a good look for me. I've never understood that. And then you get people like Bill Maher who claim they're supposed to be good for us, and then they get caught up in some of the same stuff Republican men is doing. Let us not forget Bill Maher had some legal issues with some folks back in the day. Y'all can look that up yourself. I don't want to, this video ain't all about that. This video is just to lift your ire on people who you think should come to the cookout, but their behavior tells you that they shouldn't be welcome at the cookout ever, even if they are hanging and have proximity to Black people. So folks, post your comments, let me know what you think. Main story I wanted to cover today, folks. Main story I wanted to cover is I did a story about Tiffany Cross yesterday and how she got X from CNN, but somehow or another they still got Scott Lion Jennings on the show, and how the ratings for CNN are tanking because they're trying to be Fox News light, MAGA light, instead of having real debates about the issues. Now, granted, folks, I know people like drama. I get it. But we're not living in times where drama is working. People are losing freedom. Eventually, if we don't fight, the drama that we see is going to be manufactured from the fascist government that is in control. And I get the attention span and the boredom, but fuck that. We need real journalism. That has been one of the only things that has kept the government honest. And CNN has gotten rid of that. Well, someone who's tried and true to the Black plight, who has families in the Black plight, Bakari Sellers went on with Kevin O'Leary. Some of y'all might know this fake ass. Why did they call him Mr. Wonderful? Because he's rich. Half the problem with America right now is because we give deference to rich people. And some of those rich people aren't even smart. Take the person running the country right now. I guess they call him that because he's made the money. Because other than that, the only thing I see that's wonderful is his fucking hairline is worse than Stephen A. Smith's. But I digress. Wonder Bread. Maybe they should call him Mr. Wonder Bread. But he's a host on Shark Tank. He's from Canada. He's rich. And the perspective that he's going to give in this video is that of a rich person. He interrupts Bakari Sellers over and over. Now, y'all know I love Abby Field. I think the world of her chocolate self. I'm glad that she's been on to get her own show because she, behind the scenes, has put in a lot of work. But I felt like she didn't step in to shut Mr. Wonder Bread up enough, but she did step in to shut up Bakari a couple of times, and Bakari let out a bad word. So I want you guys to take a look at this, and we'll break it down afterwards. Here we go.
So, we're going to start to see, maybe Virginia might try again and create that. Maybe they might try to create an 11-0 map, because now, according to the Supreme Court, you can. We might live in a country where all around the country, we have states where the minority political party has effectively zero representation in Congress.
I think everybody should take confidence in the fact the Supreme Court basically supported one vote, one person, guaranteed in perpetuity. And the rest is just map wars. And I think we should get used to it. And I think it's, as you said, a state-based situation. Add this to the mix. At the end of the day, the state decides at the state level. It's in the Constitution. Get over it.
So the problem with that sentiment is that you were born in 1954.
Yeah.
Okay. You're
Very
70.
popular
You're
that
71.
Yeah.
Right. In 1954.
By the way, I'm a vampire. I'm never gonna die,
during your lifetime, we've actually had Brown v. Board of Education.
I remember.
Yeah, Brown v. Board of Education. I don't know how you remember it. I think you were like 2 months old. But I'm not finished yet. Let me finish my thought.
Drill back to 54.
Yeah, because you're still alive, right? And so there's an entire generation of people. Brown v. Board, it overturned Plessy v. Ferguson of 1896. My point is that my mother was born in 1951. She desegregated schools. My father was shot in the civil rights movement. Those people.
Let him finish.
I'm going to finish because you're being utterly disrespectful.
Not at all.
So I'm going to finish this comment. So what I'm telling you is that there are people in this country who fought, died, and bled for the right to vote. Don't be a dick. Just understand.
Okay. Bakari,
just
please.
I'm not
understand.
A dick. I'm pointing something out to you. The Constitution is being upheld. Do you have a problem with that? Do you have a problem with the Constitution of the United States of America?
Bakari, I'm going to stop you because I just want everybody to reset with a modicum of respect at this table. Please stop.
I want you to understand that there is a price.
To you,
there's a price that was paid for this right. There is a price that we uphold, and whether or not you value that, whether or not you value that or not. There are people who bled, sweat, and died and were imprisoned for access to the ballot box. And what we're seeing throughout the South is that their voice, their vote, their representation, and people who have lived experiences to represent them are not being sent to Congress or where they need to go.
This debate.
Folks, that was such an example of white, rich, entitled people putting their narratives in society that they want people lesser than them to follow. Number one here, Bakari, I get where he was going. I would have took a different tack. So let me go to all the places I would have went. Number one, Kevin O'Leary is saying that the Constitution won over. It's a states' rights issue. Folks, why did we have a civil war? What is the ultimate excuse Republicans love to use for why we should have kept slavery? The Civil fucking War. Was that, slavery. Was that right? No, it wasn't. It was not right. It was part of the constitutional makeup of some of these states, but the federal government had to step in and say no, like they should have done this time. Number two, he does not talk about how corrupt these judges and people are who are interpreting the damn Constitution. What is a prime example Bakari should have said? Virginia. Virginia voted on their new maps as their Constitution says they should do. And what did their Supreme Court say? No. Breaking the fucking Constitution. People, Republicans don't believe in no fucking Constitution. They can't even spell it. They believe in the Constitution when it serves their narrative. But when it comes to abiding by law and order on the Constitution, I don't believe in that shit. Another thing he could have attacked that Abby gave him a layup for. And mind you, Bakari did fine. You could see throughout that exchange, Bakari was starting to go from 2 to a 10. While Kevin has got his hat down like this so that you can't see his eyes and he don't got to look in the camera and face the music. Kind of like white dudes when they be riding around with them dark shades and they'll look you in your face with the shades on, but when their eyes is covered, they can't look you in. When their eyes is not covered, they can't look you in the face. Abby basically talked about how with the way these voting maps and districts are being written now, the minorities don't have a say. What did Kevin say? Well, they have access. Folks, when you say shit like that, you might appease MAGA because they can't get past simple shit like make America great again or lock her up. But people who are educated, we understand that access does not mean it gets you what you need. Like when they tried to get rid of Obamacare, they were saying, well, people still have access to health care. I mean, you can go online to apply for it. That's access, but can you pay for it? No. So having access to vote does not mean that your vote holds equal weight to these other people that's dominating gerrymandering. Come on, man. He could have went that route with it. But the biggest point I'm trying to make about him and the access, and Abby talking about how we're getting rid of the minorities, if Democrats got power enough to say all of a sudden we're going to get rid of this electoral college bull jive, we're going to eliminate the minorities vote, what do you think Republicans would do? If Democrats did what these states are doing by getting rid of the voices of the minorities, because if we got rid of the electoral college, flyover country would never win. We would never have another Republican president, because that would get rid of the flyover country electoral bull jive. The Republicans, folks, I think the Republicans would go to civil war over that. I mean, honestly, almost the way blue states should do right now. If we got rid of the minority say with the electoral college, Republicans and people like Kevin O'Leary, who's over here singing and shucking and jiving, song and dancing, doing monkey double back flips, putting on their mama's panty draws, would have a cow if Democrats said, we're getting rid of the electoral college. No more minority votes from the flyover countries. They would lose their minds, which shows you just how hypocritical they are. And the other point that nobody makes a lot, there are some that do it. The storyline is how this is hurting Black people, but it's really hurting all people. Because at some point in time, things are going to flip. And those people who chose hate over food on their plate and are willing to give up their rights to a fascist dictator don't realize that you're also now giving up your vote in those same districts. Because what happens when they pick the Republican you don't like? What happens if we have another situation where the parties flip? Oh, did I say that? Because a lot of Republicans love to say Martin Luther King was a Republican, but don't understand why. So I can't take solace in being happy that those same dumbasses are shooting themselves in the foot, because it's hurting all of us as we speak. But at the end of the day, folks, we've got to do something to combat these stupid people like Kevin O'Leary who get names Mr. Wonderful just because they're rich. And oftentimes they never tell the real story of how they got rich, about how they used the government's money, that's called socialism, but tell me and you not to use the government's money because we would be socialists. Put that into your pipe and smoke it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for me today. Please, please don't forget to like the video. I didn't get any super chats today, so no comments read. But shout out to everybody that's been joining me. I adore y'all. I'm so thankful that there are a group of like-minded people, Black, white, Hispanic. I've even got followers now in Europe. Some of them followed me from doing movie and TV show reviews. But I'm just so thankful that you all are weighing in. You give me hope. You let me know that my ideals of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness in an equitable manner that suits everybody and not just the top rich folks is something that we all need. And it's something that we all want, but we've got to find a way to come together to do it. And you can push my videos to make that happen. So shout out to everybody that's coming. You guys are the superstar. And until my next Sexy as Hell full live video, which will be tomorrow around noon, come check me out. I'm out.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.